Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and today we're going to go over Zillow's absolute massive reckless mistake of 2021 and how they even got in the mess in 2021. And in case you can't remember, that's when Zillow lost hundreds of millions of dollars by doing an iBuying program. So we're going to take a look at all of that type of stuff today. Towards the end of this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and I'm going to show you how value is generally created for houses, meaning we can't just depend on some computer algorithm from Zillow to determine what our value is in our home. So I'm actually going to show you guys a CMA, or a comparable market analysis. And obviously, generally an appraisal is done, but a CMA will at least allow you to see what the rules are, generally what the rules are when determining value for property. And do me a favor, understand I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a normal person, even though my bio is as an instructor, a teacher, someone that loves to empower people and to give them new insights and perspective. And for my desire to educate, please y'all like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and shoot me a comment below. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, y'all, and hit me a like, shoot me that like right now. If you can, hit a like on the video. Something's going on with my channel. I want to play you a video of an interview with the CEO of William Sonoma. So let's hear what she has to say right now.
There's been a lot of conversation about what's happening, honestly. It's a lot of uncertainty and the debate about recession, no recession. And I was reflecting on that last night and thinking about the opportunity and the importance of thinking long term and not thinking too short term, preparing for whatever might come, but building for the future.
Correct. We need to think in the long term and not so in the short term. And that's the really difficult thing in the retail sector or consumer sector. There is just so much instant gratification emotion that it's completely toxic. And I'm not using my emotions to say this. We know this because of fear of missing out. And we know this because of buyer regret surveys that we've been reviewing. So a lot of the buyers recently, last 2 years, and even right now are not thinking in the long term, which is really important to do when you're investing in real estate, whether it's your primary residence or your investment property.
People love their homes, and that is something that in your home is your biggest asset, and it's something that is so fulfilling. When you redo a room or even just hang some new wall decor up, it really affects how you feel. And we all learned that in the pandemic, became much more important to us. And we're still, working from home a lot more than we used to be. And as things get expensive out there and stay expensive, it's always nice to come back home. And it's definitely the best deal that you have is at home.
Normally, our homes are our biggest asset as consumers and one of the smartest investments we can make. However, we also need to understand it is generally the most recklessly emotional transaction as well, because there's such a pride of ownership, a feeling of enthusiasm, self-accomplishment. But I'm letting y'all know right now that honeymoon phase goes away rapidly just as soon as people start understanding that the reality of what they just did is they actually chained themselves to their house potentially for the next 7 to 10 years. So we need to do the best we can to take our emotions out of the home buying process. And I could tell you firsthand, that's really super hard because I love real estate. I'm in real estate and I'm renting right now. So it hurts me badly. Now, jumping into the article, name of this article is Hard Lessons from 2019 Zillow Fiasco. How many home buyers and sellers can avoid the same mistakes when pricing a property in 2023? And again, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how realtors price properties, and then we'll talk about how appraisers do it. But here's what this says. If you've ever wondered what you could get for your home, you probably pulled up the real estate listing site Zillow to check its Zestimate. The algorithm-fueled pricing tool estimates values for millions of homes across the country and is a popular resource for home buyers and sellers alike. And I could tell you as a realtor, it's absolute garbage. But it's just something that's easy for consumers to access, right? However, determining home values is a delicate process, not something easily accomplished at the push of a button. Problems with the company's estimates forced it to shut down its home buying business and lay off a quarter of its staff. and the stock plunged 80% from its peak. Now, this is really, really wild. This is going to go into how they lost so much money. And basically, the end thing here is Zillow used their own Zestimate to determine what the value was of the properties they were buying. Again, instead of an appraisal, they used their Zestimate. Their own tool destroyed them, and probably thousands and thousands of people with them. Also, I highlighted this because homeowners insurance has absolutely exploded. I could tell you that firsthand. I'm not sure if you feel that. Comment below if your homeowners insurance skyrocketed. What went wrong at Zillow? In 2009, Zillow launched its iBuyer business called Zillow Offers. This is the crazy part. Zillow was so confident in its pricing algorithm that it said its estimates would serve as the initial offer price on eligible homes. But that didn't last, you guys. They were making offers on homes through their Zestimate. They're very aggressive Zestimates. So it's no wonder why they lost so much money. Wake up, Zillow. I'm just saying. The company announced in 2021 that it was exiting the iBuyer business. Indeed, an unexpected desire for new housing by work-from-home Americans combined with ultra-low mortgage rates drove U.S. housing prices to new highs, and that's maxed out. We already hit the ceiling. The prices of houses generally are on the way down. There's still some stubborn metro areas. According to Zillow's CEO, Zillow's business model was flawed, noting of his company's site that house flipping investors often pay too much and underestimate the time and cost to ready a home to sell. So let me ask y'all, how many flip investors do y'all think are currently stuck in the housing market right now with an inability to sell their house because they bought it for too much and they put too much money in it? I'm thinking there's a lot, but comment below. Let me know what you think. Zillow Offers appears to have made both mistakes and done so at a large enough scale to result in hundreds of millions of dollars in losses. And this was in 2021. We're in a worse housing market in 2023. So please, y'all, learn from Zillow's mistakes. Don't use your emotion and reckless optimism to buy houses. The best ways to determine a home's value. One lesson stands out from Zillow's fiasco. Property values can change fast. Do your homework on fair market value, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. This other thing, and I'm always preaching this to you, find a qualified real estate agent. I know I talk a lot of smack on real estate agent because they deserve it. And that's why I talk the smack, because they've earned it, okay? In my opinion, they've earned it. But also, what do I tell y'all? I tell y'all, if you can find a great realtor, they're an asset to your life. Find a great realtor, treat the process like it's deserved to be treated, like it's a massive financial transaction. Why wouldn't you want to work with the best? Your real estate agent must know your neighborhood. Good realtors analyze recent similar property sales to recommend a list price. And that's what I'm saying. Good realtors use data to help their clients, not reckless cheerleading. Get an appraisal. Lenders require an appraisal when you take out a mortgage, and sometimes for a refinance, to ensure the house or condo is worth the amount you want to borrow from them. So the lenders use the appraisal to make sure the house or the collateral is actually worth what people are buying it for. And we found over the last 2 years it wasn't. That's why we had the need for something called appraisal gaps, which was horrible, 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 horrible. I cannot believe appraisal gap became a household name. Disgusting. An appraiser examines the home and studies market trends along with other factors such as location and whether the house is in a flood zone, plus closing cost contributions, which Zillow doesn't do. In a rapidly appreciating market, it's not unusual for appraisals to come in below the price a buyer is willing to pay. And again, appraisal gaps destroyed all of that. Right? So another systematic failure was our appraisals. Normally, our appraisals will protect us from this happening, except if people just pay over the appraisal. They don't care. They're just paying over the appraisal. It's just a complete waste of money. In those cases, some appraisals are willing to accept additional information about the local market and revise their valuation. But if they're not, the buyer and seller may have to renegotiate the price, and that's normal. Usually the seller goes down on the price, not the buyer pays the difference. It's just crazy. And then look beyond computer-based valuations. So in other words, can we really trust Zillow? Can we? I mean, to be honest with you, the reason they're even popular is there's no one else to go to get an idea of what the value of your house was. The problem is people actually believe that was as valuable as an appraisal. And what happens is Zillow, remains on the bullish or aggressive side because they're in the business of real estate. They generate their income based on real estate doing well. So they're always going to side with optimism versus caution, and that's just the way it is. So now I'm going to take you behind the scenes to show you how a realtor determines value for a house. So access my matrix or my MLS, multiple listing service. All of the data that we're about to review is live current data. So I'll take you from scratch. Here's the matrix. I'm just going to pull up Kingwood because that's where we've been looking for the last, 9 months in Kingwood. All right, so let's pull up Kingwood. Let's look at the results right here. Here's all the results. Now remember, I'm going to categorize this by price per square foot, the lowest one first, so I kind of know what's the best deal. Now I'm going to start by clicking this listing here. Now here's what's important about determining value for properties, the subdivision. Okay, you need to see what's selling in the subdivision, the subject property subdivision. Okay, so this subdivision is called Kingsmill, which means I only want to look at sold property, possibly pending property, in the Kingsmill subdivision, because remember, real estate is extra hyper local. So you look at subdivision. So now I know that the subdivision is Kingsmill. And the square footage is also important. The square footage is 2,695 square feet. Now look at this helpful tool right here, Instant CMA. Okay, so once I hit Instant CMA, this is what comes up. Now here's all of the sold properties right here. Now, here's the problem. A lot of realtors aren't selecting the proper comps for their CMA. You can see there's a subdivision column right here. And look, they actually include many comps in many different subdivisions. So you have to be really careful. Even if you get a CMA, comparable market analysis, you have to make sure your realtor did it the right way and use comps that are relevant. So here's one Kingsmill right here. So I can use this comp. Then let's look at the square footage. It's a little bit small. Generally, I wouldn't use this comp because it's small, but I'm going to include that in my CMA. Let's go down and let's see if we can find any more comps in Kingsmill. Okay, here's two more right here, Kingsmill and in Kingsmill. Both are smaller houses. Again, we want to find comps as close as possible, but there's just not a lot. So I'm going to include those two comps as well. Here's another Kingsmill. This house is way bigger. Okay, so this is way, way, way bigger. I don't want to include that. I guess I'll just take the smaller comps. So then I'm going to hit next. And then it's going to allow me to select pending sales as well. These are all pending sales. Here's Kingsmill, here's Kingsmill. Okay, look at, so this one is very close to subject property at 2662. This one's 28. So the pending are actually very close to subject. So I'll select both of those. Both of them in Kingsmill. Let's go to next. This is active. I tend not to use active because people can make up whatever they want. And look at here, we had to go all the way down for one Kingsmill comp. This is the same square footage, 2,600 square feet. I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to hit next, and this program is going to generate a value. So according to the CMA, the value of the home is worth $400,000 to $416,000. Here's the thing, y'all. That's in a normal housing market. So when we go back here to this listing, we see that this house's price cut down to $320,000. So in other words, according to the CMA, this house that's listed is listed for $80,000 under market value. So in other words, y'all, things are changing, and they're changing awful quickly, at least in my local housing market here in Houston. So in conclusion, both of those programs have flaws. The bottom line is an appraisal needs to come out to the property. An appraisal is an opinion, so opinions do vary. So that's why you'll get an appraisal with different values on the same property, because it is an opinion-based service. And what happens is once they find comps or 3 sold properties, they then assign a value to the characteristics, such as the lot size, square footage, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen. It's assigned a dollar value. Now, once the dollar values are assigned, in order to determine value, they take the subject property and the comparable and they compare them against each other. And the way they do that is each comp starts with a gross sales price. As characteristics either increase or decrease on the comp, it changes to a net sales price. Now, the net sales price is what's used to create a value within the appraisal. And I could show you that another time. I actually teach on how appraisals work. I absolutely love doing appraisals. It's much different than both Zillow and a CMA. Now, other than that, y'all, I really hope you guys got some new value, insights, and perspective from today's video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.